Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Galactic Wisdom. Let's bring Andrea into the show right now. Andrea Perron is joining us again.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And I have a wild pack of dogs in the house. Sam is on the sofa behind me, Peanut's running around, and Charlotte, whom you know, is here as well with my friend Cass from Michigan. So we have an active abode right now, a wild pack. We release the hounds through that door behind me into the playpen with some regularity, and it's hysterical. I mean, if you ever need any comic relief in your life, get these three hounds together and you will laugh yourself silly.
That is fantastic. Yeah, we can see them playing in the background there. You have a big love of animals, don't you?
Sometimes I think that I love animals more than I love people, and I love people as much as I can imagine loving anything. And then I have what I can only describe as higher love. And that's for my galactic family. That's for the people the humanoids, the beings, the light workers, the beautiful souls that are out in the universe that are communicating with us. Maybe not all of us, but certainly some of us by the millions. I mean, I'm not one of a handful of people who has regular cosmic conscious contact with other beings. I'm just not. I'm just willing to talk about it because I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't. Maybe that's wrong of me. Maybe I should be more interested in other people's opinions, but I just can't be about this, Rupert. You know that. We talked for hours and hours on the way to Houghton Lake and the UFO contact last September. And I really could not possibly care less who resonates with my message and who does not, because I am painfully aware. I wish it weren't the case, but I am painfully aware that I'm not here for everybody. And I would love to be, in a grand cosmic way. I think I am. But it certainly doesn't show on the face of the earth, certainly not now. Nor am I one who carries a message that hasn't been carried far and wide before. So it's, kind of redundant what I say. Sometimes I think it's more just the way I say it. And people think about old ideas in new ways because of the approach that I take to the subject matter.
Yeah.
So that said, ask me anything.
Yeah, we're going
Anything.
to delve into, what you say, just to sort of piggyback on what you said there. I'm showing here a map of the world, and it is showing the regions of war and armed conflict right now. And that's pretty huge. That's a lot of the earth that is covered. And, we're going to start off by saying, the world has a bit of a problem here, a pretty serious, major problem. And today, we're probably going to talk about a lot of different things, but we would like to try, Andrea and myself would like to try to say something to try to make, maybe even if in just a small way, the world a better place. Now, when I try to make the world a better place, my route in is to try to expose our audience members to a little bit of galactic wisdom. And I find that a good route into doing that is to think about what we advise people to do and what we advise people not to do. And so those are two questions that I would like to put to you today, Andrea. And I'm going to start with the first question, and go for as long as you want to, give as much insight as you wish, as much personal advice as you wish. What do you advise people to do to help to make the world a better place?
on the most fundamental, rudimentary level. Now I'm talking about the foundation before you can build anything on it. We have to do the simplest thing that there is to do in the world, and that is to adopt a consciousness of kindness, so that every opportunity that comes your way to extend yourself, whether it just be holding the door for someone, just that sweet little gesture, somebody older than yourself, for instance, somebody like me, for instance, feel free. The whole world can feel free to hold the door for me. But I find myself doing that for other people all the time, naturally. And I think that once that process, that mindset becomes ingrained, thoroughly ingrained in our consciousness, it becomes habitual. It just is part of who we are. And so, for instance, my mother had some equipment delivered to the house today. She's in hospice, and we were switching up some oxygen things. And the equipment guy that came to the house, it was so, so sweet. And so I tried to give him a box of chocolates for Christmas. And he says, "Oh, I can't. I'm on the Atkins diet and I can't because I can't lose this." And, he's touching his belly, and he was so cute and he was so sweet. And he just blossomed. He just opened up. I said, "Do you want a little like mini Etch-a-Sketch? We've got one of those. You can play with it when you're stuck at traffic lights." And we just laughed and laughed. And he was only here for 5 minutes, and I'll probably never see him again. But it was lovely. It was wonderful. It was enlightening. It was inspiring. He left happy. It was Christmas greetings and warm wishes and, be careful out there. All the imbeciles and the idiots are out on the road at the same time. It's, oh God, it was just lovely. It was memorable. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we went through each and every day of our lives touching someone else's life that way?
Absolutely. And what you're saying is certainly in line with what I've prepared. I have a short list of things here, and do feel free to comment on my short list.
Okay.
The first on my list is care about everyone, care about all sentient life, love everyone. And this is not just you talking. This is not just me talking. This is one of the three main messages that our galactic friends are giving to us as humans. Number one being nuclear weapons are not such a great thing. Number two being take better care of the environment. Number three being love everybody, be nice to everybody, be kind to everybody. And one thing that I note is that these beings, they are telepathic, they are empathic.
Yes, they are, deeply. They can teach us more about empathy.
Absolutely.
And they do. And I really do believe that is the pathway to, for lack of a better word, our redemption, our spiritual ascension, our enlightenment, our awakening, and our understanding of who we are, where we come from, and why we're here. And these are the essential questions, I believe. I think that if we could find our way past some of our own natural proclivities as human beings and rid ourselves of the toxic emotions. I mean, what the list that you just read, for me, everything on it is just a given. It's, I could have written it myself. It's the same. And my relationship with the earth and everything that's on it is essential to who I am. And it always has been. I didn't find some sudden, I was not struck with an epiphany of this is how life should be. You had sent me a message about, I started thinking about the two questions that you wanted to ask being, in terms of advice, what should we be doing and what should we not be doing? And I've been ruminating on
Tell us
that
what you
for a
came up with.
couple of days. I hope I didn't burst your bubble and not give you a chance to ask your own questions, but
Go ahead.
I think that, okay, see this Sharpie? Imagine that this is a magic wand. And all the magic of the whole universe, which of course is science we don't yet understand, but magic exists. And if I were indeed queen of the alternate universe, which many of my readers refer to me as, they kind of dubbed me that years and years ago. I laughed, it stuck. As the queen of high strangeness, I would like to fix everything that's going wrong on this planet, and I could do it in probably 30 minutes. Really. But I would have to be in charge of the whole planet to do it. And that would be a cessation of all conflict. Starts there. I would make this world weaponry free. I'm not saying people can't have carving knives and whittling knives and, the things tools that they use, but I would wipe clean from the human consciousness any notion of conflict, borders, hatred. Hello, Charlotte. What was that movie I love so much? Men in Black. That's so much fun. Oh my God. The thing they hold up and it flashes and you have no memory of what just happened. I would love to have that as one of my superpowers. If I could do it with a Sharpie, that would be most convenient because I always have one laying around. And I would make any designs, any blueprints, like a whole huge part of the military industrial establishment would just be gone because so much of it is based, as you well know, on the manufacture of weaponry. And a lot of people that work in that side of the world, that's their source of income. Even during the Iraq War, there were mercenaries, Blackwater or something like that were Americans that went over there and fought, and were basically paid assassins. And the vice president was well invested in that company. So when you've got stuff like that, and I'm not just targeting him, it's all over the place, everywhere, all over the world, where power means wealth and wealth means power and greed is good. And this, as I often say, you cannot have a crisis of conscience if you don't possess a conscience. And I'm afraid that there's a huge segment of the population that can't see beyond their own nose, can't see what the bigger picture is here. I would also invite, usher in, welcome some intervention from our galactic family. They know how I feel about that. That's really important to me, that they make their presence known with as many people as possible, so that it just becomes common knowledge, commonplace, and disclosure will be complete without any government saying this or that or the other thing. I have absolutely on that subject zero trust or confidence in the military. But what I would like to do is, I'm all for research and development and science and learning and all of that. Bring it on. NASA, yay, NASA. But being in the death business is a wrong course of action for humanity. And we have seen just in the last couple of months some of the most horrific things that have ever happened on this planet have happened in Israel and Gaza. It is absolutely horrifying to me. It makes me understand that we haven't learned anything. And it breaks my heart on a day-to-day basis. And I would take my magic wand. Rupert, where'd you go? There you are.
I'm sorry. I'm fumbling around in the dark. That is something that is related to this conversation. But finish your train of thought, please.
Okay. I would make invisible, disappear all tanks and missiles and bombs, and starting with the entire world nuclear arsenal gone, swept away. No memory of its existence, no memory of its creation. And yes, I understand that would seriously disrupt the space-time continuum, that, wars would not have been fought. The world would have a much larger population. Do these people live in an alternate dimension, on an alternate timeline after their death here on Earth? I mean, this opens up huge questions that we may never have the answer to, like, ever. Now I'll say, and just to have everybody be in love with everybody else, just in love with all humanity. Like how as soon as I saw you, there could have been no question in your mind, as soon as you met me, that I already loved you. I pre-loved you the instant that I saw you. I recognized you. I knew we were going to work together, that we were going to be close friends, that we were going to have this remarkable relationship. Instantly, I knew that. I trust that visceral sensation, my gut. I trust it when I feel something like that, because that's a rarity. Mostly we just wander through life, and my magic wand functions only as a Sharpie, but in those moments that I would want, and I would, if I couldn't do it in 30 minutes, I would prefer to have 24 hours. But I would change what is wrong with humanity, and that is our incessant, sick desire to destroy each other and each other's things and each other's homes and each other's countries. And when I think of how many thousands and thousands of people have died just in 2023 because of these conflicts and many things going on that most people don't know anything about. There is a war in Yemen that is going on. Well, you showed the map. I mean, there's only been, in the course of the last 2,000, I think it's 2,000 years. We can Google it and find out, but I think it's in the course of the last 2,000 years that there's only been roughly 280 years of peace on Earth, where there were no major conflicts, even skirmishes. Everybody got along. It was fine. That's a very, very small percentage of time. So I think it is safe to say that this is ingrained in the human psyche. And I think it is also safe and fair to say that in the grand scheme of things, men make war and women and children suffer and die. And it seems to be the way of the world. I'm not saying there's no such thing as an evil woman on this planet. I've met a few. What I can tell you is that for the most part, men make war. And they not only kill each other and kill each other's horses and kill each other's cattle and kill each other's and burn each other's fields down and just wreak havoc in the world. And that's the tip of the iceberg of the damage that can be done, burning homes to the ground. Think of the homes that were destroyed just during the Crusades that could still be standing on this planet for us to admire and enjoy and go, oh my God, the antiquity of this, and to know more about ourselves rather than Coventry, the cathedral that the Nazis bombed in England, and the Brits left the ruins for people to find abhorrent, that the oldest standing cathedral in Great Britain was deliberately targeted by the Nazis to demoralize the people of England. Cass, I'm doing a show. Get out.
I'm sorry.
No, she's really not. No,
what are we talking about? Can I add
see, this
anything
is what
to
happens
the
when you
conversation?
bring
Cass.
people in from
Nazis?
other states.
Were you talking Nazis?
We were talking Nazis. Get out now. I'm doing my show. You're going to break my chain of thought.
Read Prequel by Rachel Maddow. Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's an amazing book.
Have a wonderful show.
Get out.
Are people watching this?
Yes, there's a lot of people watching this. Oh, Jesus. Hello to them all. Festivus. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Festivus.
Get out. So, what do I think that we should do? Bring an end to the madness. What do I think we shouldn't do? That one was a little harder for me, Rupert. We shouldn't. Okay, you know the phrase, just because we can doesn't mean we should.
Okay.
That applies to nuclear energy and weaponry, missiles, guided missiles that are able to take out whole countries in a matter of moments, and everyone and everything that ever lived on that patch of earth instantly. That's too much power for a species as stupid as we are. And that might sound harsh, but I would say that human beings are by and large dumb as dirt. And that's a terrible insult to dirt, because some of us grow things and nurture and protect, but not all of us do. There is a natural, fixable glitch in our hardwired brains that draws us to the dark side, to hatred and fear. Being hatred is born of fear. I think love is and fear are opposites. Love is an action word. It's a verb. It masquerades as a noun in the dictionary, but really love isn't love until it's put into action. Other than that, it's just a concept and an idea. But once you act on it in any conceivable way, it becomes real and tangible with a manifestation, proof of its existence. It's a verb. It's an action word. So I think that it is incumbent upon us that we should love actively, make a point of reaching out to people that we know would love to hear from us, especially at this time of year. I think that we should rewire our circuitry so that we do what Dickens said. Dickens was ass, but he was also a brilliant writer, and he gave the world some great gifts, and one of them was the line to keep Christmas in your heart year round. If the way we treat each other around the holidays, by and large, if we could sustain that, maintain that mindset where it's just easier to hold the door, it's easier to, make an effort and an attempt to extend yourself on behalf of someone else with zero expectation of anything in return. If we can do that, just that simple little change would absolutely inexorably change the world for the better.
Absolutely. Wise words, galactic wisdom. That's why I invited you to be on this show. I just want to clarify one thing to our audience members, because you know, when you blame men for a lot of stuff going on this planet, you have a lot of male friends. We're not talking about all men, are we?
No, but by and large, if you look at what generates conflict, you know, those who create and then utilize the weaponry on this planet, it is predominantly men. Now, you know, there have been, I mean, the first Queen Elizabeth was horrendous. I mean, if you go back in history, what she did to other women, you know, calling them witches, and then the only mercy was death, you know, that happened under Elizabeth I. And, you know, I'm not saying that there's evil is evil. And by and large, I think there's a drop of it, at least in all of us. It's just part of being a human being. But there is no denying. I say, how many times have I said to you, if all men were like you, this world would be a much better place. And I say that not just to you, but to all of my men friends, because they wouldn't be my friends unless they were civilized human beings that wouldn't think of hurting a fly, let alone, you know, unleashing destruction on the earth. And a lot of people, a lot of men, and, you know, plenty of women as well, have participated in wars going back through history. There have been some women that disguised themselves as men so that they could participate in war and serve their cause. No, we need to get to a place in an understanding where we need to get to a place in an understanding of each other. And we have to find a way, just find a way to raise little boys into gentle men. And I'm talking about trying to do that in a country. Just in this country, there are more than 30 million more weapons in this country than there are people. And it is too late. It is too late. The proliferation of guns in this country and around the world. I mean, look what happened today in the middle of Europe.
Yeah.
You know, horrible, absolutely horrible. And so rare for that part of the world. And that's any given Thursday in America. It is. You know, we have to face this. We do. Yeah. We have to face this as a society. But the fact is that throughout the course of history, men make war and women and children suffer and die. And it is a fact of our history. And we need to come to a great awakening and a realization of our oneness. And I think that men, by and large, need to rethink their priorities in terms of what makes them feel masculine, what makes them feel strong, what behavior is allowable for the sake of being dominant. It's wrong-headed. It is. And we're never going to make any positive forward momentum while we're still making war all over this world.
Thank you. I'd like to talk a little bit about weapons, as you've brought up. And the reason I was fumbling around in the dark here is because I have something next to my computer. It is a gift that I was given by a teenage girl who I knew, and she was interested in aliens. She had encounters with them, and she gave me this as a gift. She made it herself. It's a little compass, and she was shot and she was killed. And I have experienced firsthand the senselessness of people being removed from this world in a way that is not in line with karma, their karma, that is not in line with any kind of justice at all. It is just evil, it is wrong, it is bad. And, you know, if I could save a child from being killed by giving my own life, I would run. In fact, I did once run towards somebody who was thought to have a gun in order to stop them from harming people. Turns out it wasn't a gun. It was just like a rake or a broom or something they were holding in the way that some people hold rifles. But I would give up my life. And yet there are people in this country in particular, but all around the world, who are willing to pay for their belief, their conviction that that they should be able to have guns in their homes and use guns. They're willing to pay with the lives of thousands of innocent people, including many children, a lot of children, every year.
Yeah.
How cowardly are those people? It's astonishing to me, and I'm probably going to get a little bit passionate and emotional about this because I feel
the exact same way. I do. I mean, if this was my show, I probably would have said more on this. And I know it pisses the Second Amendment people off. I know it does, you know, but I think that we have to realign our priorities, you know, and a lot of these people are the same people that want to deny a woman access to the healthcare that she requires or any decision-making power over her own body. And to that, I have to say a big F you to all of it. I'm very angry about this. I mean, there are times I wonder, okay, I see that evil seed coming up in me because I'm getting really, really angry about something that's going on in this world right now. And that subject being an entirely different subject, I find it incongruous that somebody can say that they're pro-life and then have, you know, an arsenal of AR-15s in their house. It just seems so entirely counterintuitive to me. And, you know, I've really gotten past the point where, you know, if I say anything that's too provocative about that or controversial about, you know, the Second Amendment, first of all, you know, chances are really good that I'm reading that clause in the Constitution a bit differently. You know, we're not allowed to walk around in America with, you know, rocket launch, you know, shoulder grenade things. You know, we can't have those. We can't have this. We can't have that. We can't have the other thing. But there are 30 million plus weapons of war on our streets, weapons of war that can kill 100 people in 60 seconds and frequently do. I'm sorry. That's absolutely inappropriate. And it absolutely must change. I will openly tell you that I don't own a gun. I will never own a gun. I have ways of defending myself, and I have help and protection in such a way that I don't worry about it. I don't think about it. I don't give it energy. I don't. Doesn't mean that I'm oblivious to the threats that exist in our world. And I know that, I have a forum. I could become a target. We're in a mess, and I could fix it, really, just in a few short minutes. But the thing that I would fix first is I wouldn't force people to change their mind. I would force them to open their mind.
Definitely.
I would force them. I would hit them with information that was so mind-blowing that they couldn't help but think a different way and see their old reality with new eyes. That's what I would like to do.
And that's what you and I together are doing. We are giving people information. We are trying to educate. One of the things that we can advise to people is go and learn about reality.
Yeah.
Now, we've got all these wars around the world. Who is responsible for the wars? Well, a lot of times, most of the time, if not all of the time, it's the people in charge with the power, the governments, the rulers, dictators, or even in democratically elected countries. But it is the people in power. And we don't have control over a lot of the world, but in the US, we do have the power to vote. And the way that we vote is very important for a number of reasons. And I'm not going to talk about individual politicians or individual parties, but I've just written down a few things, suggestions about whatever country you're in. If it's a democracy, I advise people to vote for whichever politicians or parties support action on climate change, because that's the biggest problem that we are facing as a species, and all the other species on the planet. We've started already the 6th mass extinction on this planet. That's really the way that people should be voting around the world. And if we do not, then we only have ourselves to blame. We need to support the phasing out of fossil fuels. That includes oil. And I know that some people are not seeing the bigger picture on here, and some people are not going to like what I say. But if you just go and, if you open up your mind, as you suggest, if you go and learn about the reality of climate change, then you will know what the right thing to do is. Vote for parties that support wind turbines, solar power, green energy resources. We have that technology. We've had it for at least 100 years. We just need to transition across to it. Vote for the party or parties that support the disclosure of information about UFOs. We nearly had, in the last few weeks, a really important piece of legislation go through that would give oversight of UFOs and information that are held within the industrial military complex over to our elected governmental officials. And one party had 4 members of Congress who scuppered that bill, who prevented it from going through. And now it's meaningless what actually went through. And also support parties that, this is something I personally care a lot about, support kindness towards animals. And if you look in the US at least, it's the same party that supports all of those things. And it's the other party that is against all of those things. We literally have a wise party that's trying to do the right thing for everybody, and an unwise party that is doing the selfish thing, the wrong thing. It's
very
almost
short-sighted,
almost black and white. So that's a little piece of advice. And what you were saying about women's rights, it's the same. It all fits into the same party system. Yeah.
We've got a long way to go, Rupert. A long way to go, and the outcome is not guaranteed. Everybody has to be all in on this. You know, it really angers me because I fought this fight, you know, as a young woman, as a girl, was well aware because my mother's an activist and my mother's a feminist and my mother showed me the light, like from when I was, God, I went to my first protest march when I was 10. And I've been going ever since. What a great time. Go to a protest march, protest anything. You'll feel the love. You'll feel the camaraderie. You'll feel the sense of purpose. You know, even in the midst of COVID, to go and stand up for George Floyd, you know, a man who begged for his mother as he was dying on the pavement. And I give thanks for the brave people among us, like the 17-year-old girl that filmed his death, that was disseminated all over the world. All over the world, people saw the injustice, the savagery that that man was subjected to. All those men just kneeling into his spine and his legs and his feet and his shoulders and his suffering and the sounds that came out of him as he was dying. The whole world saw that. You know, 100 years ago, nobody would have known about that. 50 years ago, it could have happened. Did happen. Over and over again, has been happening. Now, the difference, let's talk a little science here, you know, from one wannabe to a real one. The difference between the pigment of my skin and your skin and the darkest black person you've ever met, just jet black. The difference scientifically, genetically, is 0.0003. That's the genetic difference between the races. There's one human race. We are all brothers and sisters. All of us are. And when we come to that realization of oneness, the weapons will drop. The barriers will come down. But part of what I wish that I could do, and I cannot, is to, for instance, erase the memory of the millennia-long hatred between what we now call the Palestinians and the Israelis. This goes back thousands of years. It's ingrained in the psyche of the people who are engaged in this conflict. And I don't know how to solve that. Actually, if we're speaking openly here, I can only think of one way. I really, and I mean this, I sincerely mean this. I'm not saying it to get a rise out of anybody. I'm not. I think that it is quickly becoming a necessity that our intergalactic family members make their presence known on Earth in a bigger way to more people at once. I think that it's imperative that it happen. Imperative. And I'm not the only one asking, and I already know the answer. They can't save us from ourselves. We have to do the hard work. We have to put in the effort, the conscious effort to improve ourselves. I think there's a lot of self-loathing involved in this. I think that it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, for one human being to truly, deeply, purely love another human being and hate themselves for a wide variety of reasons. People are extremely self-critical, find their flaws, their faults, and their foibles with ease. Some of them hate themselves for mistakes that they have made, live with horrible regrets, never really open themselves up to love in its most pure form because they're afraid of getting hurt, or they're afraid of hurting someone, or they're just afraid. You know, it is a big deal. It is a big deal for us to interact and relate with each other in every facet of that diamond called love, that prism of light that is thrown from us, projected out of us into the world, if we allow it. I think we all carry it within us. It's a rare and precious gem, a seed of who we are and where we come from, why we're here and where we're going, that part of us. And that's what, when I connect, that's the part of me that I open up completely without any reservation. And you've been with me. You've seen that transformation that occurs, that transitional mindset of leaving the third dimension, just leaving it, not being connected in 3D, being connected in 5D.
Yeah.
And it is blissful to me. And that's what we need to help teach people to find, to be able to go there and feel the incredible lightness of being them, and free of fear and free. What do you mean 5 minutes, Bill? Remember, I told you we have to pitch in. We have to get him a clock for Christmas, because apparently the one he has is broken. I did this to you the last time I was on your show too.
It's okay. I've brought you here, Andrea, to hear your words of wisdom. People can hear what I have to say any time on this show. I would like to end this show in the last few minutes on a positive note. I have sent you proof, Andrea, that that you and I being on this mission is right. And if you haven't noticed, it's sitting on your porch outside your door. You should go and find it. It's not much, but it's Christmas present.
Thank you. Is it in a little box? Because the Amazon people came just a little while ago before we started the show.
That's the one. And just remember when you open it that I've sent you proof.
Okay.
You and I are building a large community, a large family of loving people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have been watching this show, and I would just like to say hello to a few of them, because these people are hearing what we're saying.
Wait till you meet Jonathan. Oh my God, he's extraordinary. And Karen and Effie. I don't know where Effie is. Thank you. It is, and Melissa. Oh my God, I love Melissa. It is December 21st. It is the first day of winter. Brendan.
What is it? The solstice? Yes. Fantastic.
He's our Australian friend.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday.
And Susan, good evening, darling. Oh, one of my nearest and dearest. I love Terry. She's so great. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, and of course, it's wonderful that we have this huge community of loving spirits and soaring souls that love to, oh, honey, she's from Italy.
Isn't
Well,
that
she's in
fantastic?
Italy. We grew up together in Harrisville, Rhode Island, but she's in Italy. I love you, sweetheart.
And we've got too many comments for me to go through them all, but there are many people out there who have joined our loving family, and they are opening their minds. They have opened their minds. They're with us because their minds are open.
Yeah.
And I would like to invite everybody who is not part of our community, who doesn't realize yet that you can talk to me and talk to Andrea one-to-one in Zoom meetings. We both have Facebook groups where we host events like that. Would you like to tell everybody, Andrea, the name of your Facebook group?
Oh, everybody come over and hop into our very little intimate. I think we have like less than 5,000 people. So it really for online is intimate. The oh, so sweet. You're coming on my shows tomorrow night. Both of them. Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, it's 2 hours.
A World Awakening
here on KGRA.
A World Awakening.
Yeah,
10 p.m. Eastern Time.
This is the time where we all need to come together and celebrate each other and lift each other up and be the light we seek. So yeah, let's be the change we wish to see in the world. Let's just do it. So let's do it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. It's been a pleasure having you on this show again. Thank you, everybody who is out there watching. And please do keep coming back. Try and introduce a little bit of galactic wisdom into your lives. Try and rise above how humans have always been. Let's be the best that we can be.
Yes.
Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Good night.